Hey, well, good morning from the Philippines, of course. I'm up early as usual because I get up early. And that's what I think I do my best shows really in the morning when I get up kind of early. I don't have too many distractions. But I'm not going to wait for a lot of people to show up on here. I'm just going to do my show. Well, as you see on the title there, and I'll explain what's going on with that. It is always believed that you live on $500 a month, $500 a month, and you know, be able to thrive out here. That's so antiquated at this point. Then as time went by, we're hearing people say, well, no, you're going to need $1,000 a month to really make ends meet and have a little bit of money left over to recreate and so forth and so on. Then it went along the line. You hear other people now. It's always heard 1,500 a month. I've seen some people say you got to make $2,500 a month to live and thrive here in the Philippines, and it's ever changing. And there's some truth to that, and we'll go into that because I've seen the changes because I'm actually living out here, and I've actually talked to a few foreigners out here when I've gone out for dinner and whatever, just being in town and even brief discussions as it might have been. Uh, I hear the same thing that they're finding it hard to make ends meet. They came out here a while back when there wasn't as much inflation, and they were able to make their pension checks seem to spread out pretty well. And those that drank, they had enough money to, and that's where a lot of them socialized. You go to local Who Scouts, go to local bars out here and talk to other foreigners and sit there and drink away and smoke away and whatever. But it's becoming harder for even them. Well, they had moved out here a long time ago when things were, it was feasible. I mean, at the time, to move out here with very little money. The times are changing, unfortunately. They are. Let me get comfortable here. Times are indeed changing. Now, you're certainly not going to hear anything about $500 a month. That's going to give you a good life in the Philippines. That's as far as I'm concerned, ancient history. 500 obviously ain't going to cut it, and even 1,000 is not going to really cut it. Of course, I know you're going to say, well, Frank, it's based on your lifestyle. If you're going to want to go to S&R and you want to get all these foods and you want to eat a Western diet, of course, I agree with you on that. Not all foreigners want to live on a local diet. That's the problem. And the whole idea of moving to the Philippines is that you're going to live somehow a little better than, where you left the place. You left, I don't know, wherever you came from. It don't matter. Western society, wherever you lived, whether it was America or UK and so forth. And you came out here with a dream. Now, I'm not trying to look. I'm not trying to bust your bubble. That's really not my intent. I'm just trying to be as. I'm going to sit back on this couch here in my living room here. I'm just going to try to be as realistic as I possibly can. And as such, I'm going to tell you that it's an antiquated thought that modern times, contemporary times, you could actually do well. Remember, your pension, let's say your Social Security, it's not going up all the time. We had the biggest raise, was it last year, that we had in, eons of time. And that was helpful. It was helpful, but it just doesn't keep up with inflation. So now more and more foreigners are finding out that, shit, man, I just can't stretch my money out as much as I really thought I was. Maybe a little less drinking or whatever the spending, maybe going to S&R, wherever they got their food and they wanted the Western diet and so forth. And they're realizing that, when you sit down there and if you actually add it up, the average foreigner out here, if you actually add it up, what their monthly expenses are, then you'd be shocked because how many times you just didn't keep in mind, you weren't adding it up, that you had to stop at a store somewhere, convenience store of some sort, buy some kind of over-the-counter material, whether it's deodorant or, I don't know, or alcohol, sanitizing alcohol for your hands, or maybe some over-the-counter medications and so forth. And then you've maybe really never threw that into the equation. And then if you take trikes and public transportation as such, then maybe you've never added that up. And I have to be honest with you, I've never really added that up. I never really sat down and say, hey, you know, which you should do anyway, for the hell of it. First of the month, you know, just mark down on a piece of paper, trike expenses for the day. How many times did you use a trike? And if it's more than one person, because me and my significant other, we always go places together most of the time. So it's always double the trike fare. And that adds up. And occasionally the kids will pop on there, and that adds up too. But it also adds up because a lot of the times our trike drivers drive us around. Like, you know, driving Miss Daisy. And they wait for us. We stop here. Okay, can you bring us over to Prince over there? I want to use their ATM, or we want to get something in there, or whatever it might be. It's not free, no matter how long you've been using this driver. I mean, you have to pay him for his time because he could have been out there trying to get more fares. I've never really personally sat down and added it up. I'm kind of afraid to, but I've been spending on that. And then, as you all know, electricity costs out here are phenomenal. So the pension you got 10 years ago, maybe you moved out here 10 years ago, yeah, it was working for you. It probably was, but I think some of the same people, they're still alive. You know, people retire, 62 to 67 when they came here, and it was 10 years ago. They're now maybe 77 or 75. Suddenly find themselves in a pinch. And suddenly finding that I'm not able to stretch out my money as much as I used to. So what do I need to cut out? Shit, that's the problem. Now you're talking about what I need to cut out of my expenses. So you're not living as well as you did when you first moved out here in the Philippines, no matter where in the Philippines you live, whether city or province. Of course, you're going to spend more money if you live in a city. So all of a sudden you got a little mind change going on here. You say, well, what the hell can I do? I can't work as a foreigner, and I'm too old to work, or maybe I physically can't do something, and you're kind of sitting in dead water, okay? And you're going to have to survive on what your pension is. Now, unless you've socked some money away, if you're at an advanced age, I mean, if you sock some money to it, okay, for most people, don't be afraid to use it if it's going to help you continue living the lifestyle that you're comfortable with. Not everybody wants to sacrifice. Well, okay, now I got to reduce this, and I can't go out drinking with the boys, and weekly or nightly or whatever you used to do. Nobody wants to cut that out if that's what they do, and they like having a few beers, raising their elbows with a few other foreigners. I mean, that's very common out here. But then as they're getting older, so this progresses, as they're getting older, there might be more medical needs, so you find yourself going to a doctor more often, okay? Now, fortunately, that's not happening with me, but it does happen with a lot of foreigners. So now they're ready, in the pinch for the inflation here in the Philippines, and now they're discovering that, well, shit, now, I got to go get this medicine, which is not really cheap out here, prescription medicine. And now I got to see a doctor. Now I got to go for periodical checkups. And this is, it's chipping away on your pension. Chipping away. And if you have this, you socked away a little bit of money in the bank, which you should, you might start to see that dwindling. Now, even I had a lot of uncertainties that anything could come up, and you're going to need a shitload of money. Yeah, it's a natural concern that we all have as being retired, and we're in our 60s and above, that I want to continue to live the lifestyle that I've been living. I don't want to have to reduce anything. I don't want to have to stop doing this or stop doing that or stop eating this type of food or stop taking these vitamins that, basically was probably saving your life, really, according to what you're taking and why you're taking it. Okay, it's just difference. That some people don't want to change. what they do, but they're forced to do so. And believe me, they are. They're forced to do so. And they're not liking it. So what choices do they have? And that's the problem. Okay, well, here's the thing. When I always talk about socking away some money in the bank, all right, according to what your health situation is, if you're in your mid to late 60s or above, okay, we all hope for longevity, beyond what we're thinking. We're hoping that we live, and that does happen with a lot of us, and with some, it may not. So don't be afraid of, look, for health reasons, you need medicine, you have an emergency come up. That's what that sock money is for. But a lot of people find that they're very reluctant to touch it. First of all, they're lucky to have been smart enough to have socked away some money. That would be like the most ideal situation. I can't emphasize that more. But I think if you do have some money in the bank, don't be afraid to use it when you have to, if it's for important things. Because first of all, you don't know how long you're going to live anyway. Money is meant to be spent, but when you have limited money, it's meant to be spent wisely, because you don't want to deplete everything that you have in the bank. Like I've spoken to hundreds of times before, medical emergencies come up and you got your choices. If it's really serious, if you're an American, you have what we call our Medicare. And you can choose to go to Guam or go back to the United States, and you can get this shit taken care of. It's a great thing to have. It's too bad that they don't implicate this here. The usage of our retirement insurance, Medicare, in the Philippines has been talk about that, but I personally, certainly in my lifetime, I don't really see that happening. Okay, Frank, how can you live on $1,500 a month as Mr. Know It All? Well, you're a troll, obviously, but I'll answer that question for you because it was coming up to this anyway. How's that? Big surprise. You thought I was going to block you. I don't live on $1,500 a month, and I don't know where anybody came up with that figure. I live on, if you're just talking about the Social Security, yeah, I don't make too much more than $1,500 a month. I make a little more than that. Okay. But you see, that's not the overall income. And that's where you're missing your point, Mr. Know-It-All Ricky. I'm not Ricky, I'm not Ricky. I don't believe what Ricky's living on. Honestly, I don't. Not because I don't like the guy. I just don't believe, and a lot of people don't believe what he's living on either. Okay. I don't just live on $1,500+ a month. I'm not trolling to that's what Ricky said. Oh, thank you, Damon. I appreciate that. No, I'm not living on that. And I'm not going to go into total detail. I mentioned before on a show that our household income, okay, it doesn't mean I'm working or doing anything illegal. I'm not working, okay, but we have a household income here that far exceeds, you're talking about the $1,500 a month region that you're talking about. Yeah, we have it. It far exceeds that. It does. I'm not going to give you an exact figure, but, the household income and even little shits, like right here, a donation to the channel and AdSense could add, maybe not a lot of money per month, could be couple of $100 a month. And we'll utilize that for example, to pay down the electricity bill. And that really helps. It's better than a kick in the ass. But no, we're not, as a couple, we're not living on my pension alone. Okay. My girlfriend's had ways of making income through, well, some of it was her money and some of it was my investment money. Let's just call it that. No, we're not talking about a 5-6. We're not talking about Indian. I don't even know much about that shit. Those are loans. My understanding, those are loans. We're not getting loans from anybody, nothing like that. But no, we're living above that. And that's all part of this whole discussion anyway today, actually. Yeah, because you have to get that pressure off you. Now, I'm a small channel. I don't expect, I never did, to make a bunch of super chat from people. I mean, little things like from Damon giving $1.99. I mean, hey, that adds up to your AdSense and whatnot. We just got our first payment just from residual, AdSense, really, because I wasn't getting the monetization sticker here, And, what was it about? I don't know, equivalent to maybe about 13,000 pesos, right? And that helps. And like I said, it's better than a kick in the ass. So we could utilize that money, and little donations to my show, they do make a difference. I'm getting older. My needs might be growing greater. Who knows if I'm going to need to be on some prescription drugs? Well, anything could happen. I don't know. That's the scary part of it. We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. But even a few donations I make on my show, it makes a difference. Of course, I'm not making a lot of money on here. I hardly get many donations on here for various reasons, but I don't get many donations on here. And as such, I'm not going to certainly be dependent like some people are on Super Chats and AdSense, but I'm not going to deny that it does help. It does help. Maybe not in a big way. Maybe I'm not making $1,000 a month or something, and that adds to somebody's pension, and they could live on that really well, better than they were living. And some people totally depend on that. I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm totally dependent on what I could actually make here on my YouTube channel. I can't rely on that. But to answer your question there, Norman, I did it long form for you. No, we're not just living on my, I don't know, you came up with a figure of 1,500. Somebody spread that around or something. I know I make more than that. Not a whole lot more, but I make more than that. And we've had to suffice everybody on that, basically. Now that I, own a house, we don't have to pay rent. So, yeah. No, you're not blocked, Jerry. You're not blocked. Yeah. So I was living on that. And now things have been a little bit different lately for us. So we're in a more positive direction here. And I'm not going to go into heavy detail again. But no, we are in definitely a positive direction here. And every little bit counts. Every little donation to my show makes a difference for me and Gilda and the kids. And we're spending all the time. But as I started out saying, if you came in, late on the show, I discussed how the antiquated theory, people that have been here like 10 years ago or more have found that they could stretch their pension out pretty well. But then as time goes by, decades going by, just suddenly finding out, I'm just recapping what initially I talked about on my show, just coming in here, that they're finding that they can't really stretch their money out much more. And it's becoming very uncomfortable for pensioners and so forth to continue to do either some of the same activities they've been doing. If they like going out drinking with their buddies, they might have to be cutting that down, because even though our dollar, works well. I mean, when the peso is in the 50s and high 50s, we're doing very well for our dollar, converting over. So we're getting a lot of pesos for a dollar. And that's helped us out. But there's always going to be a time, and historically there has been a time that, the peso, the PHP, it was very, very low, and it really affected your U.S. money. But because of inflation now, I think people are beginning to rethink, am I in any financial situation like I was planning to do all this time to move to the Philippines? Is that a wise decision? Then they're asking themselves, if not the Philippines, where else can I go? And I just heard that SS recipients are only going to get a 3% raise. Well, we don't know, Jerry, until October. Hey, any raise is good, you know what I mean? Better than being reduced. I don't know. Why is the country supposed to be doing so well, the United States, that they're feeling? I don't know. As I said, I don't really follow a whole lot of stuff going on in the United States, except when I hear about disasters like what's happening in Lahaina, Hawaii, and have an interest in that because I, spent quite a long time living in Hawaii. But I do follow some news. I have a basic idea what's going on in the United States, but the amount of homeless going on is increasing. So I don't know how we would only get maybe a 3% raise on that COLA increase. I don't know. I don't know. But as I said, we have to wait till October to find out about that. That's when they're going to come out with their figures in October. So you got to wait a couple months, month and a half, whatever it is. We'll figure out what it's going to be. And I haven't looked that up. Sometimes I look things like that up. I'll punch in on Google, how much will the COLA be for 2024? And I haven't really bothered to do that because at the time it was just too early to try to find out about that. Jerry says apparently the raise is based on third quarter data, then generally comes in lower than the first and second quarter of the year. Well, maybe. Hey, an increase is better than a decrease, but it's just not, even in the Philippines. Living in America, I mean, inflation, obviously, the COLA that you get on there, it doesn't do shit for you. Because every time your money goes up on your pension, your Social Security does anyway, something else goes up and you're not any better off than when you were. But it could make a difference here in the Philippines, though, I must say that. Any raise in your Social Security that you're getting and you're living out here will make a difference, actually, here in the Philippines. I mean, as long as, the peso is, still in its 50s, I mean, it's okay. When it drops below the 50s, you get a little concerned. Your dollar is not pulling enough pesos together as it was. It doesn't have the strength. But I think it's become antiquated of the theory that, and as I said, we got some old timers out here that's been out here for 10 years or more, and they probably were retirement age then. They're probably just at high 70s or something now. And as you get older, you unless you're one of the lucky ones that don't have a lot of health problems, that don't need a shitload. I mean, just some people that are living off 13 different prescriptions. It's eating up their money. So that means they got to cut down on the food that they eat and other maybe pleasurable activities that, if you're chasing ass and paying for it, you may not be able to chase ass and pay for it anymore. Like Ricky's going broke now and he's finding out that, the money he has to put out to be with a woman has affected him so much that he had to go rent a cheap apartment and no more of the 5-star lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's taking its toll on a lot of people. So even little things. And people think, well, Frank don't make much money on this show and he's not getting a lot of donations from people. Well, there's reasons why people don't donate to me, and they just don't want to have other people say, well, you donated to Frank, you're on our bad side or something. Fuck what people think about that, dude. You want to donate, you donate, you don't. It's not a big deal to me. It helps, though. It does help. And I will tell you, it does help a little bit because, as I said, I'll give you an example. I wasn't making any super chat since I've been monetized, really, actually, up until now. And I was just, getting a little AdSense building up, but it wasn't much. Over the months, I'm not even made, what was it? Not even $300. But, if you could make if you could make a couple $100 a month, that's like your COLA in a way, all right? So what they're not giving you on your Social Security COLA, you make it up a little bit on your AdSense. My show does not require a lot of money, okay? It's not like I'm depending on this money to stay alive, and there's certain bloggers out there that probably do, but it does help. I mean, every little bit helps. I mean, if I could make, a couple $100 a month, I mean, I could pay my utility, my electric bill, okay, and so forth. I mean, it's all good. It all helps. It all adds up. It's okay. So don't compare yourself if you're a YouTuber out there and you see that somebody else is making a lot of money compared to you. Don't let it get you down because you're lucky you make any money at all on YouTube at all, really, when you think about it. If you're making anything positive, it's better than a kick in the ass. And how people make their money on YouTube is another thing, and that's a whole nother show. But you got an innocent, honest channel that you're just a small timer. You're happy with making a couple of $100 a month. I have no problem with that. If that's all I'm going to make, I'm not going to cry about it. Sure, it'd be nice to, have more people donating to my show. But you can't put a gun to their head and say, that you got to do this. Yeah, YouTube doesn't, I don't drink coffee, but tea. But yeah, it pays for something, right, Jerry? It pays for something. That's the whole point. It's better than nothing. Maybe not making a lot of money on YouTube, but I guarantee you it's going to pay for something. It might pay for your internet to get on YouTube. It might pay for your electricity. It might give you a little bit more food expense when you go shopping. It's all good. No matter how little or as much as you make on YouTube, it's all positive, okay? For example, Damon did $1.99 here. That adds up with my AdSense, okay? Because every little bit, every little trickle makes a difference. And you'll get paid from YouTube for any donations and for your AdSense. And as long as you're in the positive, there's just no reason to complain. I don't compare my channel to other people's channels. I don't do that. I really don't care what they make. Yeah, that's been my attitude lately, It's a positive. Look, Jerry, I'm not in competition with anybody on here for money. I let them believe what I'm living on, whatever they think I'm living on. Whatever, is that what you think I'm living on? Okay, that's fine. Only I know better than that, and nobody else is going to know. With me and my significant other, my girlfriend, we know what we're living on. We know whether we're comfortable or not. We know how much we bring in every month. That's all that matters. We're not in the street begging. I've got a really nice house, paid for. Don't have to pay rent. That makes a difference. It all helps, Jerry. It all helps. I don't have to pay rent, of course. I'm very grateful. I'm extremely grateful for where I'm at right now. I really am. And I'm not going to come on here and like Big Kevin and all that and ask for the jingle and somebody that doesn't deserve to get any fucking YouTube gratuities at all. It's people like that I just really despise, because they come on their show and asking for donations so that they can promote all the bullshit and hate on there. They're getting money for that too. Apparently that works on YouTube. Be an asshole, be hateful, and you make a fortune on here. I'm not going to go in that direction here, Jerry. I'm not going in that direction. I'm doing a show, and I figure if anybody wants to donate, they donate. And I'll give them a thank you, and I will acknowledge that they gave me a donation and really appreciate as little or as much as they want to give to the show. As I said, donations, it's an aesthetic thing, whatever, on my channel. I mean, it's just a way of saying, dude, I've been following you for like so many freaking years, man. You've given me loads of entertainment. You've given me, lots of different topics that I can sit down there, maybe learn from, whether it has to do with the whole experience of moving and living to the Philippines up till now, everything that's happened in between. It's a different kind of entertainment that some viewers look for. Well, I don't really look for that kind of shit. I mean, I'm not, we all go to the trolls' channels out of curiosity to find out the current, the status quo of their life and so forth. And, what are they up to now? What hijinks are they up to now and all that stuff? But if you actually think that I get enjoyment to a certain point if the trolls are being attacked and, they're not doing as well as they hoped. And, in other words, I don't really wish good on these trolls, as I'm really trying to say. They always wind up in the shithole at some point. It's just a matter of time. But, for entertainment purposes, you could listen to these shows and you could really feel good about yourself. It's like medicine. Listen to these losers, and it makes you feel good about yourself. Saying, oh man, I'm not like that. I'm not even remotely like that. Okay, so it does make you feel good about yourself. No, I don't have to resort to YouTube to survive here. It's more of a personal choice to still be blogging on here. It's not a financial choice, because God knows I don't make any money. On a popular channel, my screen would have been lit up like a rainbow. I got one donation here for $1.99, which, hey, thank you again. It's appreciated. Somebody had the thought to make a donation. That's kind of the way I think. It's not really how much. Then they were pissing off saying that Go Bobo's sister had donated $20 to me. So what's the difference if Gogo Bobo's sister donated $20 or 50 or whatever, they're pissed off because Gogo Bobo's sister donated. That's all it really is. They're pissed off at Gogo Bobo, sister, who could give money to whoever he wants to give it to. But the idea is, don't give it to Frank, because we're going to get pissed off at you. And I think that's been the attitude on here, that people are afraid to donate to certain people's channels, inclusive of mine, because they fear they're going to be attacked by other trolls. What the fuck do you care about that shit? You want to donate to me or somebody else, you donate. Don't worry about what somebody thinks. In the scheme of life, it don't mean anything. No, they were making comments. I heard that Gogo Bobo's sister donated $20 to Frank. It's kind of like, why the fuck did you do that? Well, because I got a donation because they wanted to donate. Don't need a reason to donate. You just do it. That's all. And I'm not going to sit here and do a whole show about, hey, I'm soliciting for donations on my show. We're just talking about living in the Philippines. We're talking about the rising prices and inflation. And we're talking about everything that's even related to this. How much money you could bring in per month. Can you really live on that? Things have changed. You've been living there for a long time. You've seen the difference in prices on every kind of goods and materials that you could buy here in the Philippines. And that it's just not cutting the mustard anymore for a lot of these people that are on Social Security. It's a pretty important topic, really, because those that plan to move out here, is this going to be the place for you? Do you have the full realization of what's going on out here? Are you knowledgeable enough about how things are changing out here dramatically as far as all the inflation? It's, we're not immune from the rest of the world, and everything goes on in other countries could affect us here in America, so forth. You're making your Social Security. You're very happy about that. If you're lucky, you had worked other jobs that give you not everybody's set up that way. Okay, some of them want to move here on a song and a prayer to get him very far. Okay, but if you've actually managed to collect your Social Security, you lived long enough to collect it, and you've actually worked other jobs where you're getting pensions from that, then wow, you're doing very good. You planned. I applaud you. I told you, I used to know a guy that used to work where I used to work, and okay, he retired, and this guy was getting a military pension plus a pension for the city job that he was working. Well, he was getting Social Security on top of that, and he was getting another pension on another job that he used to work at. I mean, this guy had 5 sources of income on himself, not to mention his wife. 5 sources of income. And unfortunately for him, he died a short time after his retirement. His name was Phil, and he smoked, I think, unfiltered cigarettes. And every day after work, he'd be out to Honey's, which was a bar. He spent a lot of time over there with his wife, actually. And he was very sedentary. And he worked at a desk, like Roberto does, and very sedentary. And, well, as a result of that, he didn't get to enjoy his retirement. It's just amazing what he had coming in. Of course, his wife gets to get all this pensions and everything else. If she's still alive, she's living high on the horse. And she earned a lot of money, too. So you got that situation, man. That's, wow, man. Pretty goddamn good. You thought Jerry says, I thought you were divorced. Oh, sis. Okay. Hey, I did unblock a few people. Yes, I did. And we're calling it a test to see if they behave and all that. Otherwise, let's just go back to it. I even unblocked the Pennsylvania trucker. Yeah, that situation did kind of piss me off with him. Really does. I mean, don't make promises you can't keep. I thought we had a good rapport, me and him, for a while. But not everything PA tells you is the truth. I don't know what his past is. I heard some terrible things. But he was in cahoots with Barry. Even the whole time when he said he was on the outs, he was still giving Barry money. I don't know if that's mental illness. I don't know what it is. He was helping Barry thousands of dollars the whole time he's known Barry. Thousands of dollars. I think he just doesn't know what to do with his money. He doesn't have a a bona fide girlfriend, PA Trucker. He doesn't have, all he does is work on his truck. I mean, he doesn't have time for anything. Very sedentary, smokes, drinks. The most he walks is from his truck to a truck stop. Very sedentary lifestyle. He ain't gonna last very long, you know. He sends money off to some kid, and we don't know the situation, if it's his kid or whatever. But every month, he's basically simping out the lady who's the mother of this child, and I don't know the relationship with PA Trucker with that, but it's kind of convoluted. Can't buy what he says anyway, like he's going to tell you the truth, but there's some bond that's making him send money every month to this kid. Bicycles and things like that for birthdays and Christmas, money every month, and the woman is sucking off him. You don't even see the woman, you know. Okay, we got another donation. Let's get the screen lighting up there for Obama. Jeff, another $2 from Jeff Hunt. Thank you very much, Jeff Hunt. Yeah. Celebrate the first super chat from Jeff Hunt. Okay, right on. We got 2 small donations today, but hey, as I said, it's not the amount, it's the thought of supporting the channel, and you know, it does go toward good purposes. It's not going to go out for an Xbox. It's not going to pay for cigarettes. It's not going to pay for booze because I don't drink. Yeah, well, lighting up. I got 2 blues on here. That's fine. Like I said, there's some shows I don't have anything on there at all. People now know I'm all super chatted up. I'm able for it now, and it's really up to their discretion whether or not they want to donate or not. Kenny gave you... How come I don't see it on here, though? Can somebody who's blocked still donate to me? I mean, Kenny, you mean Kenny and Subic? Yes, I don't see Kenny and Subic, and I don't see his donation here. Maybe that's why the last show I had, when I had some donations, I didn't think I had any till later on, because I wasn't seeing if you're blocked, in other words. And Sister gave me $10 too. That's kind of really weird, man. And thank you, Gogo Boba Sister. I don't understand why I'm not seeing it all on my screen. Now, I do see, I'll tell you what I do see. I do see the donation from Jeff Hart and also from Damon, okay? I do see that, but I'm not seeing anything else. Anybody have any idea what's going on with that? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, if you're blocked, my donation does not work. Sexpat Hunter, welcome. Hard to believe anyone is dumb enough to donate to someone that blocked it. Hey, they either like me, they don't. Well, Gogo Bobo's sister's not even showing up on here. Shit, for $100, I'll give Gogo Bobo's sister a fucking wrench. No, I kind of went through my list. I got to go over it today again because I got quite a big block list, and a lot of the people that are on the block list are extremely deserving of being on the block list, and I won't unblock them. But there are people that I will unblock, and I have unblocked some people recently. He's in the chat. Okay. Why do they hate you, Matt? Says, I like your channel. Well, you got to ask them. You know, yeah, well, everybody's going under a different name, Jeff Hart, you know. Just go under your regular name, man. You know, there's a time for forgiving, you know. There's a time for appreciation, you know. Don't worry about it. I mean, don't go under a different name or something and all that. No, there are a lot of people who like my show. I can't say I have the numbers on here, but a small channel here. Well, you're not blocked now. Oh, because you're under a different name. Okay, so you had to come under a different name to do that. I promise I will go through the block list. I did the other day, and that's why some people are unblocked on here. I had to figure who's the least worry or whatever that deserves a chance anyway. Hey, can you guys hold on for a couple of minutes? I'm just finishing up making my tea. I'll be right back. So, yeah, we'll discuss this. We'll definitely discuss this. We're going to go there and we're going to do some unblocking. But I still don't know why these people are not showing up. I'm getting donations, but it's not showing up on the screen. Maybe these people were blocked initially from me, but they're still able to donate. I'm not sure if you can do that. Can anybody answer that question? If I blocked somebody and they wanted to make a donation on my show, can they still do that? Because maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's why I don't see the donations. I mean, anything is possible. I'm not really too learned on that issue. Oh, yeah, man. Hey, man, donate. If it shows up, you know, somebody else will tell me. And I will make note of everyone who donates on my show. I will call them by name. I will thank them. And you got to have a different attitude on here, guys. You got to change things up a bit. Don't worry about what anybody thinks of you if you donate to my show, you shouldn't be thinking that way anyway. You donate because you want to donate. You shouldn't give a shit what somebody else thinks. At least I'm not being like Big Kevin. He's buying all these toys and shit and promising, telling people that he's giving money to his kids, which he probably isn't. Hasn't even made an effort to go fly and see his kids. Instead, he was talking about, well, if I ever go anywhere, it'll be Colombia or somewhere. Why not go see your kids? This is what pisses me off about Big Kevin. He does make money on there. Nah, 50, I don't know. I'm not, it's not even that. I mean, people could do some bad shit with wrenches. You know what I mean? I don't want to sell a wrench. If Gogo Bobo's sister's good to my channel and shit, if I really want to get into wrenches, I just automatically will give Gogo Bobo's sister a wrench. I'm not going to charge. Like I'm going to do a consultation or something and charge people for consultation. That's a ripoff, and that doesn't show respect to your viewers, okay? It really doesn't. Well, everybody's there for entertainment purposes. Yeah. Cust had an ad, so that works. People are donating because you unblocked me and I am here. No, I don't think that's why they're donating. They're donating because they want to donate. And I'm glad they are. I mean, that just pisses other people off. They don't want to see me make money on my show. They get really pissed off. Oh, you'll hear them talking about it. Frank ain't making no money on my show. Guys, it's not the amount of money I make on my show. It's not that at all. I don't need to make a fortune on here. It's just nice to see when people donate because they like your show. That's what it is to me. I'm not going to starve if you don't send me a donation. Sending a donation is just a way of saying, hey, man, I'm tuning in. I kind of like the things you have to talk about. You're pretty out there, Frank. I realize that, but you tell the truth. You tell the facts. You've done some incredible things like getting Barry in jail. And, it's like, I don't feel necessarily that you owe me for getting like Barry in jail, but there are people who actually do. Like PA Trucker totally reneged on a deal. He's not as trusting Don. A tremendous amount of money to see this guy in jail. And just don't forget, folks, I've had to put out 170,000 approximation pesos for this shit, okay, with a lawyer. It costs me a lot of money, and I don't expect to make that back from my viewers. That's not even in my mind, because that's never going to happen. But all I ever said to my viewers was, it'd be kind of really nice if some people would show kind of some appreciation for that, as little as much as they want. It makes me feel good inside. It really does. It honestly does. The people out there do give a fuck in some form of the efforts that I have made through the years to make this big event actually happen. It's huge, man. Let's face it, I'll be like that. Okay, I'm back. Let me tell you something, guys. No, I stepped away. That's why. Travel, learn, repeat. As a new subscriber, I enjoy your shows, especially when you add music, fiction to it. Yeah, I like that. Let me tell you something about me. If you haven't figured that already, I love my girlfriend to death. She comes before me. Everything, whether it's clothing, whether it's this, whether it's that. Okay, people would have to do shows about her when she's not even everything I do. And mark these words, everything I do is for her. Everything I don't do that's not for her. I put her above me all the time. And I'm so thankful in my life because I know 100% if I didn't, my life would be terribly miserable after all. It would certainly be. So, donations, keep her in mind. Because basically everything I do that's positive, money or anything else is going to be basically for her future, not mine. Let's face it, I'm getting up there in age and I don't know, I'm fairly healthy. But every single thing I do done is for a reason. So me, donate with her in mind for her future. Not really mine, because I don't really. And thanks for being a new subscriber. Travel, learn, repeat. Appreciate that. We do. Okay. Can't believe I'm going to be talking about algorithms like I give a shit about algorithms. Yeah. But I look at it this way. You can't be selfish. I'm not greedy like Big Kevin and Pete Ricky. I'm so in these type of people. It ain't funny. I couldn't measure it if there's a possible way of measuring it. All I could say is that every little bit that comes in on the show, you know where it's going. Not for booze, not for Xbox, nothing. It'll to the family here. That's what it goes to. Raising 2 children, which I never for, but they're like my kids, and I've got ability as a parent would. Call me a surrogate parent, or whatever you want to call that. Fine. But like I said, because, you know, she's 20 years younger than me. She's got hopefully a longer life than I will have. And her future is what is important to me. So I have a life now. It's doing with everybody else. They're trying to set up the future for people that they care about. That's what most parents do anyway. They want to see that their children's future is good, that they go to college and get all the things they need, that they don't go without, and they have medical things taken care of, and they got proper food and nutrition. That's what you do as a parent, surrogate or not. That's what parents are supposed to do. And you also think about the people that are important to you, because those are the ones that you want to help out. So maybe this channel doesn't make one here, but at least, unlike, you know, Big Kevin and people like that this is not going for toys, nothing like that. It's survival like anybody else. I need to survive like anybody else does. Make a little more than some people, maybe less than some, you know, but it all goes for proper things. Food, things like that. And of course, my partner's future, which is, let's face it, men, even in the United States, they work all their lives, even if their wife doesn't. And they're trying to build a future for their wife, and that's what it's all about. I have been a survivor, Jerry. And if you consider, I don't want to be aesthetics, but if you want to talk about my history on YouTube, you know, the adversity to that, yeah, I guess you could say I'm a survivor. A survivor is somebody that doesn't give up, who moves forward. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Yeah, sure. You know, I thought about getting off 2,000 times, and you heard me saying, yeah. But, you know, this is also for her future, because whether I'm gone or not, you know, AdSense will continue on this show, and it may not be much money, but it goes in her pocket. Same bank account. It helps you like her, okay? And you're really doing it for her. You're not really doing it for me. Although I can't see all the donations on here, I guess there has been a few. 2 that I could see that showed up on screen. I think there was a couple on there, maybe that didn't show up on screen. I don't know why I can't see it. I've only seen 2 of them. You guys already informed me. Philippine Beyond says, Gogo Bobo's sister. Did Sister Frank said for $100 you can get a wrench? Nah, man. We really want to get into that wrench shit. You know, wrenches could turn on you, you know? And I'm like, look, I'm not. Yeah, okay. Now she is, well, let's see. That. There's actually more than that. We've had $10. And let's go back to this. I'll go back here, go back to live chat. Okay. We've had a couple of donations on here. We had Sister. What do we have? I'm trying to go back on this thing here. I'm looking at her phone. Okay. You can look at it. Anyway, we had a few donations on here, you know. No, I'm not going to be people like, you know, idiots like Jasper, a guy that's not even big in 9 months, and he's charging $50 consults. I mean, that's so ridiculous. How is he an expert on women? We've never really seen him in a real relationship, right? He's had that one girl, Erica, you know, Erica. And quite frankly, even he came out with it and said that, you know, Erica did basically this girl that he kept on putting on screen and posing her around like it was his girlfriend or something. It wasn't his girlfriend. Well, this guy was worth being with, but she's seen how hateful he was and how he was coming down on other Filipinas and stuff. Well, I think his channel is going to crash. That's my prediction. His channel is going to crash. Now he got all the attention he wants, even with expat trash Philippines. I think he probably has less people donating. I mean, he's doing good with his subs, but I think his revenue is probably going down. Jack Thompson, how are you blocked if you could see your name blocked? You're not going to tone it down a little bit, Jack, and I'll keep you on here. There you go. So, every little bit helps. It adds up at the end of the month. I mean, look at Barry's situation. That guy was in dire straits. But the donations he got, whatever the reason was with him, donations, but it was better than he wasn't getting any donations. Wow. I know you're just praying, Jack Thompson, because you've been talking about it forever. Frank, please unblock me. Please unblock me. And I had to think, what reason do I have attacking me in regard to everything? Why should I unblock you? But I did unblock you. I'm trying to unblock a few people on my show. I'm trying to be fair about this. Oh, God, you wouldn't believe it's in my tea. The tea I drink, you wouldn't believe what I put in that. God, what an elixir. Colors on the screen for what I could see. It's really appreciated, and I tell you it's appreciated. Oh, okay, It's like, people owe him it. You don't owe me any money. You don't owe anybody any money. But you always have to at least, as little as they give or as much as they give, you got to acknowledge people and say thank you. There were times I get pissed off. I'm like, a fucking dollar? No, you can't think that way. It's the idea donated to you, and you acknowledge who sent you the money. And the people who send you the money, they shouldn't give a shit about what people think. Oh, gee, if I donate money to this guy's channel, the people that don't like him are not going to like me. What do you care? Well, fuck, I'm sure of that. People like that, they think a different way. They don't give a shit what people think. That's the whole point. Don't give a shit what they think. You get over that stuff, Donate. Don't worry about it. That's great. So, listening for funds on here, and I didn't ask any of these people that donated today to donate anything to me. They did that on their own accord, and that's important. Don't be out there and yelling at people. And I've done that sometimes when I got frustrated. I'll tell you why I got frustrated. People were enabling people that. Another one. Kenny and Subic donated $5. Thank you, Kenny and Subic. You are acknowledged. Thank you very much. We've got another donation here. Kenny gave 2 donations. Okay, 1 of 5, another 5. Right on, Kenny. Appreciate that. See? I let you know that you're appreciated for what you donated. I'm not going to let it pass. I'm going to tell you who donated when I see it and thank them personally. Like I said, it ain't the amount of money, guys. It don't matter. It really doesn't matter. That was nice of Kenny to donate. It was nice of everybody. Here we know that. I know that. You know that. But, it's all good. Jerry thinks he's good luck. It's raining colors in there. Well, it's not raining colors in there. But it's off with anybody donating. Holy shit, does that piss people off? Maybe one day on here we'll have a whole array of colors coming up on my show to show that I actually do have supporters. And even if, they're doing it to play with my head or something, it don't matter. You give, same fucking thing to me. But maybe one day on one of my shows, we're going to have a show where my screen is going to be lit up with rainbows of different colors. Wouldn't that be nice? And I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off because of that. This gives them something to talk about. Oh, gee, Frank got a bunch of donations. What are you going to say to that? They can't say anything bad. They just don't want to see me making a million. Don't you guys think it's long overdue? How many years have I been on this fucking thing? I listened to Barry, which most of you hate his guts. And I accomplished what I did. Now, the only person who came through John Blaze donated approximately, I don't know, $600. Yeah. With Barry Lee Jordan. he helped. Because when I went to the lawyer and I flapped down a stack of money on his desk, it was John Blaze's $600. That was that. It doesn't rain money's pennies from heaven. It has to come from somewhere. My account, or if somebody was donating for the cause, there you go. John Blaze did donate 600 somewhat. He didn't have to. Was he trying to make a statement or something? I don't know, me a few times. I think John Blaze knows me a lot than he did before. And there should be no question, I never bought a bracelet with that money. That never happened. That never happened. That money is totally separate from the bracelet. People were making a big ado. I told you where that came from. And somebody who sacrificed to buy that for me. And I won't go into that again. Okay? There's no reason to do that. To get into that again. But considering the fact that a lot of people out there were trying to find ways of getting this Barry Jordan situation straightened out. They said, even we had enough of it, Frank. I mean, we'd like to see something happen with this guy, but we just don't think it's possible. A lot of people have tried, and maybe too many people have not tried, and maybe that's the problem. But I had the gumption and the energy to go out and do this. Of course, I took it very personally, what he said about me, and that's why he's in a jail cell. I could have let this go, guys. I didn't have to do a case of immigration against him to get him in that jail cell, and I didn't have to do furthermore than that and get 5 counts of cybercrime against him. I didn't have to do anything above. If he would have just behaved and just kind of like not, really defamed me and the threats he made to me, I would have left it alone. I would have said, just let karma take care, move on. But he's just persisted on doing what he kept on doing, and it kind of left me no choice. So yeah, it was me that actually 170,000 pesos. Seriously, exact figure. About 170,000, man, to get Mr. Jordan where he is right now. I didn't see anybody out there that made such an effort like that. Everybody kept on saying, the guy's a bum, he's a loser, people, and we'd like to see him in that position someday. But, what did they do for that, though? Campaigns against me to raise money for legal fund to try to fuck me over. I mean, for what? I don't really know. I'm not acting stupid. I've not done anything criminal on here. Barry actually does something criminal by all, and it was. But people just did not want to donate. Oh, okay, Jerry. Well, thanks for stopping by. Obviously, you're unblocked. You're welcome to my show, long as you. And that goes for anybody else I'm going to unblock on my show in the future. I will go through my list today. We'll see on that list who's worthy. I mean, I even unblocked Pennsylvania Trucker, and I had no reason to do that. Yeah, I was upset about that. I really am, because, a lot of people make. Don C. even Don C. 50K. WTF, Mike Ross, and of course, Pennsylvania Trucker, 50K. And they did not come through. Now, if anybody I expected to donate, because, I used to, 1-to-1 and all that, and he was very much against Barry. Despite all that money he gave Barry, a fair weather person, he went with the weather, sunshine, and how he would treat people. Kind of like they call double-faced, two-faced. Believe me, he wanted to see Barry go down after the smoke, and he was gung-ho, personally, He was gung-ho about seeing Barry in jail. And they all made that if that ever said that you're never going to get him, it's not going to happen. You're full of shit. Well, obviously I'm not. But they didn't want to come through with their pledges. I mean, even if Pennsylvania came through and made a nice donation to the show, I'd say, okay, promised. You should make do with your pledge, because this doesn't make you look good on here. But if he came through on the show, a good donation, I would say, okay, you fucked up on your pledge. Okay. And I would say, that's not what you promised me. But to make amend. Because, you know, he'll freely give money to Kevin and people like that. And he knows damn well that Big Kevin is you know, he's a fraud. But these people will donate to these fraudulent people. It's a real phenom on here. It really is. Everybody knows that he's the ringmaster on here, Big Kevin. He sits on his fat ass and he uses your money to buy any intention to go back to the Philippines. He never had any intention to go see his own children. His own children. But you keep on donating money to this guy. Okay. What's the purpose? And the only thing I could come up with as an answer is so that you could proliferate the trolling and the drama. And that's all Big Kevin's show is about. To proliferate the drama. When they're adrenaline up, that will donate to him on his show. The little knife in his brain did affect him pretty seriously. But he's smart enough to know how to make money on his show, how to manipulate people, and you have all been manipulated by him. As well as Ricky Drama, as you all found out that the money in his own pocket to support his lifestyle out here in the Philippines, or Thailand at the time. Now he's in a row wearing the same shirt. Oh, jeez. What is that? A $240 apartment in Battaglia home. That's not a 5-star lifestyle. That's hardly. So, with that being, not everybody's what they try here on YouTube. All this money and they're making this and that, but they really aren't. They just want to look, you know. There are some people that actually do have money out there, and they're not bullshitting about it, but it's the ones that don't got the money that are proclaimed. Because if you have the money, well, okay, we got some show-offs on here, like the big enabler, who flagged the money one time, enabling his crimes. I mean, I never understood that. I understood he's reasonably intelligent and makes a fairly decent income, found a good job that allows him to travel. Great job, you know, but he's not a man of respect, especially his spectacle that time that none of us are going to forget, where he's in that bar and he's grabbing his wife's tits, and he's allowing his wife to go on the dance floor or whatever, and basically make out with another woman that they, I believe, has actually living with them, that they all share the same bed. That would be their personal business, but display behavior is showing a ton of disrespect for your partner, your wife. And, you know, Big E can say anything he wants to deflect what I'm saying or retract, try to. But what he did was disgusting, and I'll say it over. It was it. How could you respect your spouse by doing that? I'm public. That would be a sign. I will never do that. We don't really kiss in public. I mean, you know, in your own home or whatever. You can kiss your girlfriend on camera in public if you feel like, but I mean, to do it was really disgusting. And it shows to me respect for his wife, that he's trying to protect, that he's a family man, godly, and how many times he's quoting scriptures? Are you kidding? When you do shit like that, using that as a shield, that he is religious and he abides the Bible, yet he's going to grab his wife's tits on camera like such a way, have his ex-girlfriend, whatever, on the floor, to have his go up her and plant the in public. Why would she even do that if she even respected him? I admit I don't understand everything that goes on here, okay? I don't pretend to understand anything that goes on YouTube, really, just to a point. I'm not that disrespectful. I wouldn't do that anyway. I'm not going to grab my girlfriend's tits in public or in front of other people. You want to do that kind of shit, you do it in private. You know, like the old saying, get a room, you know? Get a fucking room. That's what I say with him. Get a fucking room. What are you trying to basically tell us when you're going to do a live stream? If it was live, I forgot. Feel your fucking wife make out with another fucking woman. What is that saying? Either one of them, what is that saying? Respect for each other. He knows I'm right. I'm sure he listens to all my shows. He knows I'm right, but he's not going to admit it. He should come on here and make a statement and say, you know what? I was wrong to do that. That was to someone that I suppose, my wife, the mother of my children, on there too at the time. Come on, man. It just goes back to remember the days with Chi when she was sucking that game, you know? She's over there sucking on a number between some guys. Disrespectful. And her kids were there. They were there. Disrespectful. And I still say it was disrespectful. No, it was low class. Better off. It was low class. Why would you do that? If you want to do that, you could do that, but do it around other adults. Okay. Now, come on. Really? About it. And a lot of people agreed with me. It's low class. It's low publicly. Rude. Doesn't say a lot of good about you. Then, of course, when Filipinos, they get provocatively dressed on camera, they want to bait people to come to their shows, and they all did that, didn't they? They all did that until they got the permanent boyfriend or whatever. The boyfriend said, "You're not going to be doing that kind of shit." But they did to that to get their viewers and to get their donations. Oh, that was the eggplant. Ken, hey, Ken. Then we got the eggplant. That was the eggplant challenge, is what it was. Yeah, I heard that. I still feel the same way. I thought that was really low class. You know, that's a bad image to have for other people in other countries or Filipinos like that. People think, are they all like that? Are they all low class like that? Do they go down on a dime, go down on a peso? They're not all like. And remember, Filipinos are representing other Filipinos when they do something low class like that, making other Filipinos look as low class and cheap as their exhibit. Yo. Yeah, Travel, Learn, Repeat says it's all about the cash. Well, everything's about the cash. And I understand, you know, don't get me wrong. I understand that things are hard in the Philippines. You know, people gotta make some. They were doing bad before, but they're doing worse now because inflation is just going crazy out here. And I could understand him wanting to do a show. I mean, look at Filipina P. I don't really actually even watch her channel, to be honest with you. I've seen some of her shows, and at least she's very eloquently spoken. She is entertaining. She could be a TV host. I mean, she really could. I don't agree with who she interviews on there or kisses up to, you know, but she's very creative. She does editing. That's a good show. I'm not trying to promote her. I don't agree with her shows, the times I've seen them, but earning a living. And she's not really doing anything you would call illegal, but she's interviewing people. You know, some people like to see interviews. There's no law against that. Yeah, Pete puts on a good show. I mean, as I said, I don't, on any regularity at all, do I watch the Filipina Pete show. I don't know why. I just really don't. I'm not really attracted to the show. It's too flashy. I think it's getting a little bit too flashy, you know, a little bit too loud, if you know what I mean. Like Ricky's, you know, Hawaiian shirts, a pattern that he chose is kind of a loud pattern, and you want to laugh at it. When a show gets too loud and too entertaining, you know, just like I've arrived, I've become a star, you know, and she'll do these things on there that I wish she wouldn't do. I wish she'd kind of keep it a little bit simpler, but yet still give out the information she wants to give out. But yeah, she does. Now she's earning her money. And we got to, all right? When somebody earns the money, they earn the money. When they're doing good, and I don't think she puts on any hate shows that I've seen, except I think people were upset with her because she was kind of, I don't know, I think they felt that she was looking down her nose at other Filipinas and what they're doing and everything. In other words, that her shit doesn't stink. I think that's what it was all about, you know, that maybe she's the upper echelon, she's the upper class of the Filipinos, and she's looking down at what other Filipinos. Isn't that the consensus? Isn't that what, I think there was some controversy over that, you know. But all in all, there, and I'm always discovering something new. And you know, like the copycat channel, are they even putting it? You know what? I have not even gone to that in a long time. It's old hat. It didn't ask. I don't think that's on. I'm not sure. Or honestly, as I'm speaking to you, even go there. This is for me to go there. And not only did he repeat my shows, but when they add commentary to it, I don't go there anymore. There's no purpose to go there. But they want me to go there. And that's the purpose. And I don't. So it defeats the purpose of even putting on that show. People are getting pretty sick of it anyway. They're basically putting on shows in case they decide that I'm going to delete every show I put on. But what they're really waiting for is for me to say something out of line so that they could attack me and do a narrate deal. But that's not going to happen. The direction here, I must say. We're taking off a little bit. I made about 40 subscribers this month. 40 new. I'm not buying them, or else it'd be like 500 or 1,000. So that's a good thing. So slow growth is better than no growth, is what I say. Anyway, I want to acknowledge some today. Thank you very much. It's not the amount, it's on the donation. That's what it's all about. You guys, I can't tell you what to do with your money. But think about somebody's channel, and you like the drama. Think about when you spend your money. It's one thing to want to give to the channel. Ask yourself the question. Why is it exactly I am donating to that channel? I mean, really think about why you're donating. When you know that is a hate channel. Do you really internally want to promote hate? I know you want the entertainment. A lot of people do, but do you really feel donating to a channel that's all about promoting hate, hurt other people, maybe people that are innocent? Why would you want to enable this? The Big E knows who's wrong on here. He knows that Barry was wrong as rain in the desert, but, he donated not because the script and all this bullshit. He donated because he knows I'm on the outs with him. And all it is a smack in the face. That's the only reason he donated to Barry. He knows Barry's a criminal, even said himself that he should be there. He's got to pay for his crimes. So, okay. So you said he has to pay for his crimes. That's the question that I posed on here about those people that were donating for Barry. And people like even Ricky, why do you want to pay crimes? Well, I do get it in one sense of why, but the other part I don't get. Why would you enable a criminal on here that hurts? I mean, you're supposed to love Philippines and Filipinas and Filipinos, right? Then why would you donate somebody that's not exactly contributing to the culture way, that are hurting Filipinas and taking money off people? Why would you want to? Don't have to answer me. Answer to yourself. Explanation for that. It's something that you personally have to ask yourself. Okay. We have to take that periodic. We're going to go on with the show for a little bit. Since you got something to listen to today, I know there's not much activity out to a point. But let me go take a CR break, and we'll be right back. And you could, let me see, I've been going to the Philippines for the last 6 years. Husbands will send their wives to go with a guy to make money. Yeah, I've heard that too. And by the way, if you're new to my channel and you haven't hit the like button, and of course, hit the notification button so you know when I'll be on again. And we are getting more subscribers, I'm happy to say. I'll show you the analytics maybe on another show. We are in here, nothing phenomenal. The good thing is we are in an upward direction on here. That's a positive thing. And like I said, you should never worry about what other people think, whether you want to donate to my channel or anybody else. But think about why. That's all I'm saying. Is there a person body off? You like what they have to say? They've been straight up with you, presenting facts, not faltering from that. Puts on a good show that not only accommodates everybody, because we do talk a little about the drama going on YouTube here. We do that. It's hard to stay away from that. But we also do a lot, yes, of course, about the out. And we go into worldly topics too on here. You do live in the same planet after all. So, yeah, keep that in mind. That's what we tend to do on here. And it keeps on bringing people back to my show. The ones that claim that they don't like me, they still come back to my show every single time. How about a few more thumbs up? That could always help the algorithms of my channel. Okay. And never give about that if you're going to make a donation to my channel, don't let them win. Don't let them win. See me make donations on my channel. And one day my screen is going to light up like a rainbow. We had a little colors today. Thank you very much. They don't want me to make a lead fucking peso on my show, so they could boast about it. Hey, I made more money. Look, I am not in competition for the 1,000th time. I am not in competition on here. I meant on the money side of it. I'm not in competition. Not whatsoever. Any money I make, money given without a gun to your head and with no prerequisites for an Xbox or something. Pay me money to go see the dentist. I told you where the money goes on this show. It's not even for me. It's not even for me. It's for somebody that's sitting down with me. It all drips down. The trail of money goes not even for me. And she will be utilizing this money in the future too. As long as the show is on here, buried and gone. And hopefully that's not for a long time, of course, folks, but one day it's going to happen. And this is a little bit of residual income that's even for her. Everything counts. And if you love your partner, that's what you think. And this is, okay, this is what you do. Goddamn righteous to you. This is what you do. Am I right? Can anybody disagree with me with that? Okay, so anyway, whatever. I will be running right now. Ad will go shortly for some viewers. Skip ads. Okay. Okay, guys, hang in there. We'll be right back. No, we're going to keep the show going for a little bit this morning as long as I can tend to take care of a little business at the same time. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. I've been having this witch's brew is what I call it. This tea I make. You wouldn't believe everything I put on in this tea. It's a little witch's brew. It's a very healthy brew, I might say. Even using the local malanga leaves. I've even graduated to that in my tea now. Can you believe that? Damn, but you see what I put in a cup of tea. It's quite potent, I will tell you that, right? You could ask me anytime if you want to do the same thing I'm doing. I could tell you what to do to have that really potent tea. It's going to really certainly do good for your health and not do bad. You know, I'm not saying it's going to create every little bit helps. Just like donations on my show, every little bit helps. Back, I assure you. Back, folks. We're definitely back here. You know, for those that decide to rent out here, if you have any reservations about the longevity of your stay out here, if you want to stay in the Philippines for a long time or not, I would suggest a rent. But if you're in a position to get a house, it's not as much of a risk as you think it is. It's really according to who your partner actually. So keep that in mind. If you could trust your partner, there's nothing you couldn't accomplish out here. And I'm proving that right now, actually very well. And you know, you put your future at the top of the list by acting on the present, and that'll determine how you live out here. Can't afford, whether you can do a vacation, go out for an elaborate meal every now and then. You know, maybe even buy something that you don't really need, but you just want. We all treat ourselves to something every now and then, do we not? And you should. But as far as like rent, if you really don't really trust your Filipino, well, first of all, you shouldn't be with her anyway. Come up straight. But if you do, you could talk about things like, getting a house together. At least you're not going to have to pay any rent. That's the beauty of it. There's not much out here. It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. So you can choose to rent or buy if you're in a position to buy. It's not really that hard to get into a house out here. Okay. But I would say don't get a loan to do it or have your spouse or girlfriend do it. Get a loan to do it. Gather the money to do it. If you're not in that position, then you are forced to rent. And, like I said, there's nothing wrong with renting if that's all you can do. You don't have to buy a house to live out here. If you're in a position to do so, that's fantastic. Do it, man. There are benefits to owning a house out here. You don't have to worry about a landlord, whether or not they're going to fix the leaky roof or whatever. You don't have to do that on your own. The one thing bad about here is that you can't get insurance on your house. And all those people in Lahaina, they're all rich anyway. I think you all know that. The town of Lahaina is practically gone. There is one section of that tax lead toward the top of the town did not get hardly affected, but a lot of Lahaina was wiped out. Now, I've never been to a lot about it living in Hawaii. I know about all the islands. I know what they're like, even if some islands I haven't been here. But as of all of Maui, consists of a lot of retired people or not even that had a lot of money. And you got movie stars, pop singers, you got all kinds of people living in Maui. Not a place to be able to afford to live in. In Hawaii itself, I mean, people are not surviving anymore. Now, I don't want to get into this thing about, this sovereignty issue with Hawaii, but I'm just going to make and I saw a show about that again. I mean, I even did a documentary where I interviewed a well-known Hawaiian leader who's, one of the sovereignty movement, what's that, Paul? It comes off kind of raw when white older men refer to significant others as my Filipino-like ethnic property. Well, I don't know. What do you know? My girlfriend, whatever. Okay, and she is significant to another. I don't know. I don't see a problem. I'm not sure why you see a problem with that. She's significant to me, so she's my significant other. She's not my wife, but she's significant to me. I'm sorry you have a problem with that. I'm not sure why, but not good. Well, you call them anything you want. If you disrespect her, call her a bitch. You call her whatever you want. I don't disrespect my girlfriend, okay? Does that sound better to you? I continue what I was saying, though. Yeah, the wealthy live over there in Maui. And they do got insurance. If their house burned down, they'll be able to rebuild. Lahaina is never going to be the same again. In fact, the Hawaiians want a native theme when it's rebuilt. They don't want it to look very touristy, which is exactly what it was. They want a lot of things. And they think that they could survive. They think their own banking system and everything else. Hawaiians, there are like 500,000 or more Hawaiians that have moved to Vegas, they moved to mainland America. I thought you were supporting the sovereignty movement. I thought you were a culture Hawaii and worked toward being an independent nation. So why did 500,000 Hawaiians move out? Okay. Well, they couldn't afford to stay there, for one. Well, it's true. Hawaii, the nation, and whatever you want to call it, they're taking over. Gunpoint that way. You have to speak English only. You got to practice our religion. And they even put Queen Liliuokalani in her, call it mansion, as a prisoner. The Queen. A lot of it was done by gunpoint. No, it wasn't right. But the Hawaiians gave in on the concept of land ownership and selling. They gave in on that shit. Just saying, everything turned into a commodity, that people were acquiring land and selling it and all that shit. But they got involved in that too. It's the thing about Hawaii because it's kind of a delicate topic to me because I both respect Hawaii and the beauty of Hawaii and the whole idea of aloha. It's really a shame because all ukuleles and shit. It's when Finish it off with Dole. And you heard of the Dole plantation. A rich family came in, American Dole family. They got the pineapple, had the pineapple plantations and all that. They went in and they just took over. That's what they did. Okay? That's what they did. Yes, the Hawaiians were given a raw deal for the most part. They were. Let's be fair about this. It was a raw deal for them. Am I still connected? Because I'm saying there's a problem here. Okay. Hello, Bill Smith. Welcome to a really good discussion today, covering some kind of really interesting points we'll make. The Hawaiians, yes, but they did play a part in it. But they think in their mind they could become a sovereign place. The benefits are too good from the U.S. government apps, governmental programs. Think they can be an independent nation anymore. Look, I've lived there a long time. I know the attitude out there. Try living out there and getting stink eye from these Hawaiians all the time. Mainlanders go home here and displaying decals on their trucks and vehicles. The picture of an AK-47, Defend Hawaii. Defend. They gave in to tourism, running by Hawaiians that's geared toward very opposite of what they're trying to say. And I remember seeing a show that somebody did a documentary thing by this newscaster type gal, who's known in her own, way, popularity. She did a thing about the sovereignty issue on there. Of course, they showed these fucking stretching it dances. If the Hawaiians they had their own culture, yeah. Okay. And you know who started that? And he was part Hawaiian. He was making his millions. They gave in, but they got the gall to turn around and why is, will you help make this with Hawaii? You exactly did that. Paul says that they used to give money to poor Hawaiians. That is where the saying originated, yeah. Go on the dole. No, but they did more destruction than they did good. But they did bring cultures together. Look, I'm a fair guy. I will tell you the negatives and the positives of everything. They had people come to work in the plantations. It wasn't just pineapple plantations. Chinese came in. Portuguese people came in. Japanese people. And that is the secondary language. They call it pidgin. Okay. And with some culinary delights that are part of the Hawaiian culture came from the fusion of these moved into work in Hawaii. And it's a way of talking, and I've experienced that all the time. Hawaiian or localists born there. And you may not understand all their, what seems, loud. They'll say, damn, that broke the mouth. This was really tasty, man. That's just one example of many, okay? And I'm not going to try to go through my memory and give you all these lines, but that, combination of dialects in a way, Chinese, Portuguese, Filipino, Hawaiian, when they all mesh together to work on and a lot of different types of culinary innovations were made as we working on a plantation to show them how to make adobo and so forth. And other foods, there was a fusion. They created many different fusions, cultural fusions of that food. So Dole did hardly. I think the cost of labor was too much. They still have some operations, but it's not what it was. They moved elsewhere with the cost of labor, but thing to Hawaii, employed people, but you got to look up the history. And these islands, the rich, wealthy took over. They're the ones that encouraged to basically say, hey, speaking your native language, you're not going to dress this way. Some Hawaiians in the past walked around. You can't speak only but English. You can't practice your religion. Of course they're pissed off. Of course they're, and they have the right to be. But too far, treatment. The African Americans in America wanted preferential treatment because, you know, they were slaves. They were looked down on. It's kind of Howleys only Hawaiian. I'm surprised it hasn't come down to that. It's that bad. I'm not saying this stuff just to hear my voice. It's gotten that bad. Feel guilty for living in Hawaii? Fuck that shit. Anyway, my battery is running low here, guys. So I'm probably going to have to bring this to an end. To those that have donated on today's show, thank you very much. As I said, it's not the amount.